Hello, everyone, and welcome to our special live Google Hangout on air. I'm Sunny Galt with New Mommy Media. We produce audio podcasts for new and expecting parents. We do a lot of videos too, and we love partnering with Scripps Health and the San Diego Parent Connection to do talks on topics that are important for parents. And today's expert is Kimberly Bianco. Kimberly is with Scripps Health, and you may recognize her name because if you listen to our podcast for New Mommy Media, Kimberly has been an expert on our shows as well. So good morning, Kimberly. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Sunny. I am great. Thank you very much. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
We just kind of keep circling around.
We are. Well, and usually we hear each other through podcast stuff, but maybe not necessarily see each other. So this is a nice change. So tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what you do as it relates to breastfeeding.
Well, I have been in the business of babies and growing families since about 2000. So, gosh, that's 17, 18 years. I started as a childbirth educator. I was a birth doula, postpartum doula. I'm a lactation educator, and I'm also a lactation consultant. So that's predominantly what I'm working with now is new parents as far as breastfeeding and just sort of trying to navigate through those first 2 to 4 weeks of breastfeeding. How's it going, questions, and just sort of navigating through these uncharted waters, so to speak.
So let's start with the basics. Tell us a little bit about the benefits of breastfeeding and why moms should even consider this.
Right. So the benefits are multiple, not only for moms, but also for babies, but then the two of them together. So for moms, there's a release of something called oxytocin, which is this really amazing hormone. And what it does is it helps mom's uterus to shrink back to its pre-pregnancy weight. And that's pretty important because it helps as far as stopping the bleeding and helping with her whole healing process. In addition, it also helps to release this relaxin hormone that causes her to be more relaxed and more calm about the whole entire environment. And we always want to be calm when we're new parents, right? It also helps her to burn calories, about 400 to 500 calories a day, just by breastfeeding, doing nothing else. And in the long term, it helps moms as far as reducing certain kinds of cancer, breast cancer, cervical cancer, also reduces her risks of type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart disease. As far as babies go, breastfeeding, it creates that bond between moms and babies. Babies that are breastfed also, we find that they get those immunities from their moms. And so they get sick less often. They have less ear infections. In the long term, they also have less risk of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, different kinds of cancer and lymphomas and things like that. And what's nice about breast milk, besides all those benefits, is that it's uniquely tailored to each baby. And as that baby grows and changes and develops, mom's milk changes right along with that baby. So as opposed to formula, it's an ingredient list, and that's all it is, and it's the same thing all the way through. Breast milk actually changes through those babies' growth patterns through their life. It's literally the liquid of life, if you will. It's pretty amazing.
You know, one of the benefits that I found, because I did breastfeed all of my kids, including my twins, some for longer than others, but you know, I also had the opportunity to use formula. And one of the things I can tell you, especially in my situation, because I had so many kids so quickly, is that it's not, this is so simple, but it's so helpful that breast milk is the exact temperature it needs to be for your baby.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
You know, when you're dealing with formula, it's like, you know, you're trying to, whatever you're doing, boiling water or mixing or doing whatever you're doing. And sometimes, you know, it's either too hot or it's too cold, and breast milk's always the right temperature. I always thought that was so amazing.
It's always the right temperature. It's always right there. Moms produce milk 24/7 as long as they're breastfeeding. So it's free. There's no bottles to clean up, no sterilization. It's kind of all encompassing the wonder food.
How long should moms breastfeed their baby, at least according to the American Academy of Pediatrics?
According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, it should be exclusively breastfed for at least 6 months is their policy. So moms and babies should breastfeed at least 6 months. After that, breastfeeding with complementary foods. In other words, if a baby decides they want to start eating some solids, you know, then we can do that. But breast milk is always going to be that primary source of nutrition for baby, at least up to a year, or until mom and baby decide, you know, let's part ways. Let's be friends and let's part ways as far as breastfeeding goes. So ideally, really 6 months. Worldwide, globally, there's other countries, 2, 3, 4 years. Here in the US, we're kind of in that 4, maybe 6 months, but we really are kind of pushing the envelope and getting closer to that 6 month mark. So that's exciting. That's exciting news.
for women that are going through that, a lot of times those thoughts of being a quote unquote failure at breastfeeding kind of creep into your head, because you do hear these recommendations and it's like, oh, I couldn't do it for 6 months or whatever. What would you say to those moms that are struggling with that?
You know what? Just breastfeed as long as you can. Anything that you're giving to your baby from day one, no matter how long it is, if it's a month or 2 months or 4 months, that's still amazing nutrition, and you're doing the best you can for your baby. So do the best you can, and it's a relationship between you and your baby. So don't listen to your friends or your family who's telling you, you know, you really do need that support team, which we'll get into as far as positions and things like that. But just do it as long as you can. And anything you do for your baby, as far as breastfeeding goes, is going to be amazing. So no guilt on the table, because everything you're doing is so beneficial for baby.
As far as starting breastfeeding in the beginning, because we know that, you know, getting things off to a good start is important. It's not everything, but it certainly does help. What are some things that moms can do in order to increase the probability, let's say, of success in breastfeeding in the beginning?
So considering that most moms are delivering in hospitals, right, or birth centers and things like that, the best thing you can possibly do is, first of all, just wear that baby like a bra. Keep that baby with you at all times. Even if they're sleeping, just having your baby right here creates that hormonal exchange between mom and baby. So just even if baby's not breastfeeding, just having baby right here is going to help that hormonal exchange, and then mom's breast milk is going to start to increase. So that's honestly the very best thing you can possibly do, is just love your baby and wear them like a bra every chance you possibly get. It's going to make her milk, her transitional milk, mature a lot quicker. So she's going to move from that stage of colostrum to that stage of transitional milk a lot quicker, just by keeping them here. So, you know, and there are some situations where moms can't. I mean, let's say that in a situation where baby has to spend some time in the NICU, in the neonatal intensive care unit, you know, moms are like, well, can I still breastfeed? Absolutely. Here at Scripps, we've got lactation consultants on staff, even the nurses that you're going to be dealing with, or that patients deal with in labor and delivery and also in postpartum, are either lactation educators, lactation specialists, and some of them are even lactation consultants. So immediately you can talk to them and say, you know, hey, how can I get my baby to latch on? If there is separation of mom and baby somewhere else, what can we do to really protect that milk supply? And they'll have you start pumping right away, to just really tell your body, baby's here, I need to start making milk. So we have lots and lots of support here at Scripps. We promote breastfeeding at all of our hospitals. So she really is going to need that kind of support, getting those questions answered, getting that real early intervention as far as, you know, lactation and questions answered and skin-to-skin contact and things like that. So
you mentioned skin-to-skin contact. So how important is that in a breastfeeding relationship?
Extremely important. Probably the number one thing. I mean, we've had moms who adopt a baby and are able to breastfeed through, you know, hormonal doctor, you know, like working with the doctors and things like that, but also just by doing that skin-to-skin contact. And not only does it help with breastfeeding, but it also helps to release that oxytocin. So again, it makes mom very relaxed. And this is baby's habitat. This is where they were for 9 months. So this is where they want to be, is right here with mom. Even dads or partners can also do skin-to-skin contact. Doesn't have quite the same effect. It's not going to make dads or partners lactate, but it does help moms in that way. And so it's just, anytime you have that skin-to-skin contact, it really increases that bonding, brings that milk supply, to the forefront, and it really becomes that primary relationship between moms and babies. And that's really, really important. So, and even if mom can't breastfeed or isn't breastfeeding, that skin-to-skin contact is so important. It helps baby's body temperature to regulate and come up to mom's body temperature, because when they're born, they can't regulate their body temperature like we can. And so they can get cold. And so just by putting baby right here, mom's body will actually warm up to bring baby's body temperature back up to the right temperature, which is pretty amazing.
That is really amazing. And I remember, so I mentioned I have 4 kids and my youngest 2 are twins. And in the beginning, they were preemies. They were born at, I don't know, maybe 35 weeks, I think.
Right. I remember.
And they didn't need the NICU, but they were still too tiny really to latch, but it was a great experience because I actually ended up breastfeeding them till they were 3 years old, which is a whole other story.
That's
I know.
awesome.
It sounds crazy, but they were actually easier to breastfeed than my singletons because that's what us twin people call single babies, by the way, our singleton babies. But anyway, yeah, what was really great, because you're talking about skin to skin contact, and I remember right after the babies were born, I was in the recovery and my husband was there too. And I had one baby like on my chest, skin to skin, and he had the other baby, and I was trying to get her to latch, and then we trade babies. And so, yeah, that skin to skin, even for my husband, he was like, hey, this is pretty cool. And so, yeah, it worked out.
There's all kinds of studies that show that just even a partner just doing skin to skin contact really increases the amount of time that he or she or partner spends with that baby. Because they feel that closeness, and there's that relationship. And again, it's that whole oxytocin release that just makes everybody feel very bonded and close and connected, which is really, really important in the family unit.
Yeah. So let's talk about and actually show us some different breastfeeding positions. There's several, and I know we can use them at different times. So maybe as we're going through the different positions, you can say, oh, this is good for when this is happening and whatever.
Sure, absolutely. So some of the more common ones are a cross cradle position, which kind of goes like this. So basically, baby is across. This is a cradle position, right? But you want to have the cross. You want to have the support of the backhand for new babies, because the head, you want to consider it like a bowling ball and the body like a handkerchief. So you really have to have the support of that head. And with this arm here, mom can then gently grab, just basically support the baby's head right behind the ears and keep that baby nice and close. You want to wear that baby as close as you possibly can. You want to have belly button of baby and belly button of mom matched up together. So you really want to have that baby, because if baby is turned to the side, a baby can swallow straight on like this. It's much easier. But if you had your head turned to the side and swallow, it's much more difficult to do that. So you really want to make sure that baby and mom are aligned nice and straight, that the baby's ears, shoulder, and hips are all in a nice alignment, nice and tucked close into mom, okay? And then you can just sort of use the hand this way. So this is the cross cradle position. The other position that's really helpful, especially for moms that maybe have had a cesarean birth or there's some tenderness in the abdomen area, is they can move into a football position. So that's basically just having the baby right here on the side, holding them like a football. Again, that belly button is still staying connected to the abdomen, so nice and tight. Shoulder, ears, shoulder, and hips are all still in alignment. My arm comes around, still securing the baby around the back of the ears, just like this. You don't want to go like this and shove that baby on, but you just want to kind of hold him right here, and then your arm can actually support and hold that baby in place. So this is good for moms that have cesarean births, or like I said, have any kind of soreness, uncomfortable, but it's also, as that baby grows, it's because their legs can kind of move back this way here, and they have a little bit more room. So the football hold is a real popular hold, very easy, usually for moms to navigate. So it's one of the more common popular holds. And then the last one, which might be one of my favorites, is called the laid back nursing. And it really ties in with what we call biological nurturing. When babies are in this position here, there's something called the Moro reflex, and they tend to startle, the startle reflex. So if they're in this position here, they feel like they're falling backwards. And so when they're in more of a forward-facing position, it's called biological nurturing. It helps with the position of the brain and the skull, and it makes them feel more comfortable. So in the laid-back position, if you're laying in bed, let's say, or you're on a couch, basically at about a 45-degree angle, baby is right here in mom's chest, basically laying across her belly, at about kind of at a diagonal. Mom's laying back at a 45-degree angle. Baby kind of comes in with big wide arms. Can you see what I'm doing?
Yes.
Arms like this. Baby can actually, they will instinctively start to what we call combing the breast. So they'll start to kind of do one of these, and what they're actually doing is they're helping those breasts to release that milk to move down through the those milk sinuses, which is amazing. And so then just keeping baby right here, we find that when babies are in this position and moms are breastfeeding, it's not as painful. There's no sore nipples or very little sore nipples, so they tend to breastfeed much longer just in this position. And you can do this anywhere. So it's called laid back nurturing, or laid back nursing rather, or biological nurturing. And it's really, really fantastic. Very comfortable for moms. So those three primaries, and then, you know, there's variations. By the time moms get older and they know what they're doing, you know, I've seen moms doing baby breastfeeding this way. breastfeeding this way. I'm like, good on ya. Don't know why that works for you, but if baby likes it and you like it, okay, what are you gonna do?
Right.
Yeah,
Right. I think we call that breastfeeding gymnastics, especially when you've got a toddler and
right.
they get bored, but they're
Coming
still
over this way. Yeah, they're doing one of these.
And
Okay.
the other thing I was thinking, as you were talking about positions, this may be kind of like a sub position or kind of a, part of one of the ones you already talked about. But when I was breastfeeding throughout the night, the side nursing where your baby's right there and you're able to
position.
Yes, that was really helpful.
Yeah, because baby is just right there. So you just want to make sure that, again, that belly button, the baby's nice and close and tight. What you don't want is for baby to kind of be turned more in a lying position, because they're going to be taking mom's breast with them, and then that can be cause some soreness and pain and different things like that. But if it works for you, a lot of moms find that they breastfeed in bed, they can get better sleep. Babies can get better sleep as long as we like babies to sleep in a confined space. The American Academy of Pediatrics says baby has to be sleeping in a confined space. So it could be, a co-sleeper alongside of the bed, or a bassinet, or something within the bed, as long as they're in their own confined space. So yeah, but that's important. But yeah, the sideline position is great for moms. Gets you a little bit more sleep. Babies are happy. You get to bond. It's all good.
And the football hold is really important if you happen to be nursing twins and you're trying to do it at the same time. And they have got these fantastic breastfeeding pillows that are made for twins. Yes. So you just kind of put them right there and light them up. And that position worked really well for me as well. So what other things can, for parents of multiples out there, we may have some that are watching this video. What are some tips that you have for them to make breastfeeding possible? Because a lot of people think, oh, I'm having twins, I'm not going to breastfeed. And like I said earlier, breastfeeding twins was actually easier for me. I'm not saying that's going to be the case for everybody, but what are some tips that you have for parents of multiples out there?
Well, first of all, just know that your body is going to produce what those babies need. So the fear that I don't have enough milk is not going to be the case. Your body produces what those babies need. So if you can tandem nurse, which sounds like that's what you were doing, it's better, it's just easier for you, more organized, easier for babies, because they tend to get to be on the same schedule. So for moms, let's say that one baby is a little bit smaller than the other one. Maybe she wants to start with the better feeder, right? There's one baby that maybe is a little bit of a better feeder. So you want to start with them, get them situated. And I've had situations where my mom had twins and the second baby just wouldn't latch, just really wouldn't. And I said, let's bring baby on with the other twin. And amazingly, the second baby was able to watch her twin. She was kind of looking over at her, picked it up, and started nursing like a champ. It was awesome. It was so beautiful to watch. I got a little teary-eyed. I cry with babies all the time. But if you can do it together, you might need a little bit of help. You might need like a third set of hands to help get one baby here, get this one situated, and then help bring the third one over, the second one over, So the football hold, like you were mentioning, is a great position because you can control both babies at the same time. Doing it this way, again, having both side by side. You can also do that laid back nurturing position where they're kind of like laying side by side this way. You can even do that cross cradle where one's over here and one's over here. You can get real fancy.
It definitely does get easier. I mean, I think that would probably be one of the things that I add. I remember in the beginning when we were doing the football hold, man, I had like washcloths, like tucking this up and in and out because they're so tiny, and they don't really move around necessarily all that much. And so you really have to put it right there where their mouth is. And then by the end, like my mom, oh my gosh, she just had a ball whenever she would come over and I was breastfeeding because all I would have to do is like lift up my shirt. It was like something from National Geographic. And like, they would just like, you know what I mean? I was like, God, that's pretty easy. I don't have to do, you
just sit there. Okay. Yeah. You just sit there and do the thing. But it's just nice because, then they make eye contact with you. Or if you have twins, they make eye contact with each other. And there's just this amazing, beautiful bond that you have as that family unit. And it's, to me, that's just pure pure basic love. There's no other way to put it. It's just the perfect situation.
Specifically with Scripps, what are some of the things that Scripps Health offers moms to help support them beyond just the hospital experience?
Right. Well, the nice thing is that all of our hospitals, as I said, we have lactation, our nurses are lactation specialists or lactation educators, and some of them are lactation consultants. So the ones that are there taking care of you just in labor and delivery and in postpartum can get you off to a great start and help you get that baby latched on and making sure that it's a good latch. In addition, we have lactation consultants on staff at all the hospitals. So if you're having an issue, or maybe you need to be kind of ramped up and need to be seen by somebody, you can be seen by a lactation consultant. Those same lactation consultants do outpatient procedures or outpatient consultations as well. So after the baby's born, you can come back to the hospital, you can make an appointment. Insurance now is covering those visits, which is really nice. And you can meet with them. You maybe met with them before in the hospital, but sometimes when you get home and you don't have that 24-hour help at home like you did at the hospital, sometimes the wheels kind of fall off, and you're sore and you're lack of sleep and you're not eating properly and you're like, it was so easy and now it's not easy. And sometimes just knowing that you can pick up the phone, you can make an appointment and you can get in to see somebody is really going to help put all the pieces back together. So we have the lactation outpatient consultations at the Scripps La Jolla, at Scripps Encinitas, all the Scripps hospitals. And in addition, here at Scripps, we have support groups. All throughout San Diego County, we have 6 support groups every week. They're completely free. You don't even have to make a reservation. We have them in Vista. We have them in Encinitas, City Heights, our Mercy Hillcrest Hospital. We have them, and over here at La Jolla as well. So moms can pretty much come in any day of the week and sit down with either a lactation consultant or specialist. They can get their questions answered. They can get the support they need. There's other moms in that group as well. So you've got that really good peer-to-peer support. You can even do what we call a weigh feed weigh at our boutiques and our support groups. You bring the baby in, you weigh them with a clean diaper, then we can help you get that baby latched on, breastfeed, answer any questions you've got, and then you can weigh them again after the feeding session, and you can see exactly how many ounces they took in, which is huge because we don't have hash marks on breasts. Those are just some of the things that we offer, but we've got moms coming to our support groups from day 1 up to year. We've had babies that coming in, they're celebrating their 1-year birthday. So, and they're totally free. So why wouldn't you do that?
All right. Well, Kimberly, that's all the questions I have. I know there's so much more we could talk about when it comes to breastfeeding. We could be here for days and days. I know that. Right. But at least I think we scratched the surface for moms out there that want a little bit more information. I should also say that New Mommy Media has a whole podcast that's devoted to breastfeeding, pumping, and milk sharing, all that good stuff. Anything breast milk related. It's called the Boob group. I'll include that link on the video page as well. So we've done, oh my goodness, I don't even know, close to 200 episodes. So pretty much any kind of topic you can think of, we've probably covered in one form or another. But Kimberly, thank you so much for being with us today. It was so good to see you again.
Great to see you.
Yeah, and sharing all this great information for parents. Parents, if you are in the San Diego area and you have not checked out the San Diego Parent Connection, you need to do so because it's a great resource where you can get tons of videos like this, as well as meetups. If you're like, I need to get out of the house, the San Diego Parent Connection is a great way to do that. And just have some fun, and share these experiences with other parents out there. Also, please check out newmommymedia.com. That's where we have all the podcasts, but other videos as well. And actually, we're in the process of redesigning our website now to include some really cool stuff. So check us out. And if you like this video, all that we ask is that you share it with another parent so we can help them out as well. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here next time. Bye, Kimberly.
Bye.